Artificial intelligence, AI. I mean, you hear that term everywhere, right? But what does it actually mean? And more importantly, how is it already shaping your world? Maybe in ways you haven't even noticed. Well, let's get into it.
Okay, so to get started, let's actually begin with you, because the story of AI, it's not some sci-fi movie set in the distant future. Nope, it's about what you were probably doing just a few minutes ago.
So let me ask you this. Have you used AI in, say, the last 5 minutes? I'd be willing to bet pretty good money that the answer is a big yes, even if you had no idea.
For instance, did you check a map app to get somewhere today? Yup, that's AI. It's not just some static digital version of a paper map. It's a living system that's crunching real-time traffic data, learning building layouts, all to figure out the absolute fastest route for you, right this second. It's a way, way smarter experience.
And it's not just about getting from point A to point B. That movie Netflix just recommended for you, that's AI. The social media feed you were just scrolling through, totally curated by AI. Think about it. Autocorrect, unlocking your phone with your face, talking to Siri, all of it is powerful AI, just woven so seamlessly into our daily lives, we barely notice it's there. Okay, so it's pretty clear AI is everywhere. But that brings up a really important question. What are we actually talking about when we use that term, artificial intelligence? Let's try to clear up some of the fog.
At its very core, AI is all about building computer systems that can do tasks that, well, normally require a human brain. We're talking about things like visual perception, understanding what they see, or making decisions, or even understanding human language. The big picture goal here is to create machines that can reason, learn, and then act on that knowledge.
And this is a really common point of confusion we need to clear up. AI is not the same thing as robotics. The easiest way to think about it is this. AI is the software. It's the brain. Robotics, on the other hand, is the hardware, the physical body. So you can totally have AI without a robot. Think of Siri on your phone. And you can have a robot without any real AI, like a simple arm on a factory assembly line that just does the same motion over and over.
So it really helps to picture AI as this huge umbrella. It's the big, broad concept. And underneath that umbrella, you've got these major fields. One of the biggest is machine learning, or ML, which is all about systems that learn directly from data. And then you can get even more specific with things like deep learning or natural language processing tucked under there too.
So let's drill down on that. While the grand goal of AI is super broad, to simulate human intelligence and solve all sorts of complex problems, machine learning is much more focused. Its goal is to get really, really good at one specific task by learning from data. The self-driving car is the perfect example. The entire system, with its decision-making and navigation, that's AI. But the specific algorithm inside that's just analyzing traffic patterns, that's machine learning at work. And look, these distinctions aren't just academic. They really matter because AI and machine learning are doing so much more than just getting you through your morning commute. We're talking about technologies that are fundamentally transforming entire industries from the ground up. Just take a look. In healthcare, AI is being used to analyze patient records to predict diseases and speed up the development of new medicines. In manufacturing, it can actually predict when a machine is about to fail before it breaks down. And in everything from retail to finance, it's personalizing your shopping experience or spotting fraudulent transactions with a speed and accuracy that it was impossible a decade ago. And believe me, this isn't some niche little experiment happening in a corner. If you want to see the real story, just follow the money. By 2024, the forecast for what businesses around the world are going to spend on AI every year is, get this, $110 billion. That's not just growth, that's a massive economic shift. But, and this is a really big but, when you have a technology that moves this fast and gets integrated so deeply into our lives, it naturally brings up some really profound and honestly pretty difficult questions. We are now being forced to have some major conversations about what this technology should and shouldn't do. And this quote here from Michael Sandel at Harvard, wow, it just cuts right to the heart of it. This isn't a technical question about code anymore. This is a deeply human question about our own role in a world with machines that can think. And that central dilemma really breaks down into three key areas of concern. First up, privacy and surveillance. With all this data being collected, where is it going? How is it being used? Then there's bias and discrimination. Are these algorithms just learning and reinforcing the same old human prejudices? And finally, there's the question of human judgment. What are the decisions that we should always leave to a person, no matter how smart the machine gets?
That issue of bias is a huge one. Think about it. If you train an AI on historical data about home loans, which we know is filled with decades of discriminatory practices, that AI might just learn to replicate those same biases. It could essentially create a new, high-tech version of redlining. So the massive challenge for everyone building this stuff is making sure we don't just bake our old, ugly biases right into the code of our future.
So, where does all this leave us? Well, we're standing at a crossroads with a technology that is, at the same time, incredibly powerful and potentially pretty dangerous. What happens next? Honestly, it all comes down to the choices we're all making right now. And let's be absolutely clear about one thing. AI is not a passing fad. This isn't some trend that's going to disappear next year. It is a deeply disruptive force that has become a fundamental pillar of our global economy and, as we've seen, our everyday lives.
And that brings us right back to the biggest question of all. At the end of the day, technology is supposed to be a tool, right? It's meant to serve human purposes. But as these systems get smarter and more autonomous, we really have to stop and ask ourselves, will this technology serve our best interests? Or could it end up serving something else entirely? And that's the question we're all going to have to answer together.